What's going on? What's going on, everybody? It is the only sports podcast. That's right, the only sports podcast. I'm Casino's wife's favorite podcaster, Will. That's Casino there. How are we doing today, Casino?
Pretty good. Outside of without my hat, my face looks so fat.
No, that's not true. Your
It
face
just
just
always looks
looks.
fat.
Yeah, I've
I
even
took the
with a
joke
hat
out.
on.
I took the joke out of your wheelhouse there.
I got a new
That was a
haircut,
clean setup
Casino.
for you. That was a clean setup for you.
Thank you so much. I got
I
a
got
new
you.
haircut.
I
I'm
did too.
dripping in swagoo. Both of us dripping in it, dripping in swagoo. I've
But
been
you also get your
told.
beard done. Your beard looks great because you
Thank
could
you so
grow a
much.
beard.
I can. But everybody always says
I just grow pubic hair on my face.
yeah, but that's from your late night activities, not from But no,
Well, I
I
mean,
literally
if you shaved at all, I mean,
yeah, that's true.
mm,
But as you can see by the face, I don't shave, I just sculpt. But but literally could not grow beard in my life till I was like 25. So I'm 34 now, so I've only been able to grow a beard for like a decade.
I'm
So
34 in like a month and a half or whatever it is. I don't know. Whenever December is, it's coming up quick. And
maybe it kicks in. Maybe you finally hit puberty and it
maybe I
just
hit
you
puberty.
skyrocket.
My
But
deep voice gets deeper. That would be great. All right.
that would be
Turn in,
creepy
that would
if
turn into
all the
Barry Man if I just turned into like Barry Manilow.
yeah 34 and then it was just like I don't know what happened. It just I wonder if that had to have happened in the history of humans where all of a sudden somebody's voice just made a drastic change one year.
Oh, guarantee.
That had yeah. But
Well, have you
we
ever
are
heard about
here.
no, hold on. But have you ever heard of like the people who like get in car accidents and wake up and then they have like wake up from their coma and then they have like an accent that they've never known or they can speak a different language that they've
Yeah,
never
as someone
those
who
are crazy stories.
as someone who's been in a car accident and also took Spanish 101 like 3 years in a row, I wish I could speak Spanish and that's all it took. Cuz that would have been awesome if that would have happened in between years of Spanish 101 and then all of a sudden I come in and it's just like blowing the doors off the place, but no. I'm gonna learn Spanish before I die, Casino. It might be right before I die, but I will learn it.
What are you just
But
gonna say? Adios, amigo.
yeah, my final wishes and words will be in Spanish. But we are here today a day late, and I have no money on me, so $1 short. But we are here a day late because of my child. Again, this podcast would be a perfect podcast if it was not for children. More specifically, me and Casino's children. And
Hey,
literally,
my daughter's a saint.
but
Yeah,
I'm
okay. She said, "No, I'm not." You're right.
even she knows.
You're a
But
Michaela.
but literally yesterday we sat down to record, and I am waiting for Casino to join the podcast, and like right when he is about to join, that my son's school calls me. He had a fever. I had to go pick him up. Then I had to drop him off to his mom, and by the time I got back, it was too late. So that's why we're doing it a day later. But we have an action-packed show for you today, Casino, full of action. NFL Week 3. We also get to talk about a Thursday night football game after it happened, not before. But before we get into NFL, let's talk about college football first, Casino. Going into Week 4, uh, your UNLV talk will have to wait till Casino's corner, and you're on mute at the moment. But
Oh, nice. I was just say we talked about UNOV on Tuesday. That it's cool that they've made the coaches poll, which is pretty neat.
yeah. So going into week 4 of college football, the big games I would say would probably be USC Michigan. USC ranked 11th, Michigan ranked 18th. There's 12th ranked Utah, 14th ranked Oklahoma State. Uh,
I'm really excited about college football this year.
And then tonight, a game I know both you and I will be watching, 24 Illinois at 22 Nebraska. I'm on the Nebraska Cornhuskers bandwagon, Casino. I like what I've seen from the games they've played, and I like Nebraska. I just do. Also,
Well,
shout out
I
to Luke,
always
who is the only person I've ever known who's a Nebraska fan.
so the only reason I like Nebraska is in you see the movie Yes Man when they go to
Yes.
Nebraska, and he's just like "Hum, nom, 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 nom. Hum, nom, 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 nom," like eating his like corn arms. Like it gets me every time. It gets me every time. Jim Carrey's a great. So I like Nebraska solely because of that. I wonder how many Nebraska fans are out there because of that.
I mean, that's why I'm a Nebraska fan.
Hmm.
Yeah, just that scene right there and Jim Carrey. My wife said she told her mom and her dad when she was younger that she was going to grow up and marry Jim Carrey. And then the celebrity comparison I've always gotten is Jim Carrey. So, what are the
You're
odds of
Ryan
that?
Reynolds, my friend.
I mean, that is with my new haircut, somebody said Tom Hardy, and I was like, I don't see that at
I
all.
don't see that.
But I've
Tom Hardy's
gotten
cool.
I've gotten Tom Hardy, I've gotten Matt Damon, which I could see because we both look like generic white guys. I've
Matt
seen
Damon.
I'm assuming if you made a puppet of me, it would also look like the puppet of Matt Damon. That was but yeah, Casino. So of all the games for college football this week, what are you looking forward to? I think for me, it is USC Michigan because I think USC is like a top 5 team in the country.
Yeah, I mean that one's gonna be real good. I'm actually excited for Tennessee, Oklahoma.
Oh, yeah.
I want to see that one just because I want to see Oklahoma do well. Again, this is all just doing like the math in my head because with the new playoff system. I want Oklahoma to do well because Houston did well against Oklahoma, even though they lost. So I want Oklahoma to just keep going and keep going and keep going. Even though out of this game, I probably would prefer Tennessee to win. I just kind of like Tennessee a little better, just in general in college sports. That one's gonna be really good. Um, or Oklahoma State, Utah, for me. Because to be honest, I think USC blows Michigan away.
I do too.
I don't say blow them like gonna destroy them, but I do think they take it.
Yeah.
Um, but so I'm not. Yes, that's gonna be an exciting game to watch. But I kind of am excited for the Utah, Oklahoma State, and Tennessee, Oklahoma. Oklahoma doing it for me. Oklahoma's
Also,
doing it for
can
me.
we what is it with Ohio State and how they scheduled games this season? Can we move them down from 3? They've literally played Akron, they've played WMU, they're playing
They
Marshall.
play the WNBA.
Yeah, I mean basically. Then they play Marshall this week, then they play Michigan State, Iowa, and Oregon. But they've like backloaded their schedule so much where they just get literally like a full month and a half where they just play absolutely nobody. But
Yeah,
yet we still have them
cupcakes.
number 3. I agree. What are your thoughts, Casino, of not doing any polls or numbering any teams until like week 4 or 5?
I'm for that. You know,
I am
and
too. I hate the preseason polls, especially where it's just like a team like Florida State, where it's just like completely new roster. They're in a top 10 rated team, and then they lose like their first 3 games.
right.
Like I don't get how you can grade teams based on new recruit classes. They lose their best players to the NFL. It just seems weird to me.
Yeah, I mean, the drastic changes in numbering and seating is just insane for the first 3 weeks. Everybody's just like, ooh, choo, choo, choo.
Yeah.
Takes some time to like finally settle in. Once
Well, and
they,
also
and especially, and you kind of just talked about is a lot of those powerhouse schools like Ohio State, Alabama, they play cupcakes to start, man.
yeah. Well, it's also one of those things where, like we know going into the season, we know Texas is going to be good. We know Alabama is going to be good. We know Ohio State. We know all those teams are going to be good. So their ranking when it comes to the top 10 really doesn't matter. So really it's for all the teams that aren't the powerhouses outside of the top 10 where it's like, that's when we should a perfect example, for instance, UNLV you've been talking about. If we
Yeah,
waited till week 4 or 5, UNLV might be a top 20 ranked team in the nation just based on what they've done specifically this season. right? Like,
Right.
I hate how we put so much emphasis on we talk about this when we do the NFL previews, where it's like we put so much emphasis on strength of schedule based on the teams last year. And then all of a sudden you come into this year and it's like, oh, Arizona, the Saints, and the Bucks are all really good, right? And it's just like, based on strength of schedule, if you were playing Arizona this year, that was like that made your schedule look easier. And
Right.
then you get blown out by 31 points if you're the Rams second week playing the Cardinals. So yeah, I don't know why we don't wait, but I'm assuming it's mostly just television shit. So you can be like number 9 ranked blah blah blah
I
versus
mean, I
number
do
12
appreciate it.
ranked.
I wanna see it, so I get it.
Yeah. I mean, it doesn't really matter, but it's still annoying. Anything else to say on college football casino? I
That
don't think there's
I'm
really.
trying to go to the game on the 28th, UNLV versus Fresno State. I think that would be awesome to go because if they win that game and they go 4-0 to start the season, because Fresno State, they're not bad. They're 2-1. We'll see what they do this weekend. That if they pull that off, I mean, they're just outside of the top 25. I want to see it. I want to go to the game that they have the potential to win to potentially get them in the top 25 for the first time in program history. Oh,
Yeah,
that would be so.
that's crazy.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
but
I'm just.
But
It's awesome.
let's go casino from college football. Some interesting matchups, but not really anything, I don't know, salacious or really anything to talk about. So let's go NFL week 3. And
Yeah.
that started off last night with the Jets blowing out your Patriots casino. Now, I picked the Patriots, you picked the Jets.
You picked the
Uh,
Patriots.
I
Oh,
did. I thought they would have I thought this would be like a 16-10 game that the Patriots would just squeak out with good defense. But again, I went against my own rule where I know that Robert Saleh is a really good defensive coach. And did I really think Jacoby Brissett would beat him? I stupidly, in my mind, was like, they're going to have him throw the ball like 12 times and then just run the ball down the Jets' throat like 40 times. That did not happen.
no.
And but what did happen is I saw this crazy thing. I don't even know if I took a picture of it. I did not. But it was the first time in NFL history that I believe a team has thrown the ball or had over 400 yards of offense, not turned the ball over, not allowed a touchdown, and the quarterback had like a perfect passer rating or some weird combination of that, where it was basically, and this is where I want your opinion, Casino. The Jets basically had, by all metrics, a perfect game last night, right? Like in all facets
Oh
of
yeah.
the game. So, and they won 24-3 again against a Patriots team that is much better than everybody thought they would be, including us on this podcast. Uh, do you think this is the momentum the Jets needed and they will continue to be a good team that is the team everybody thinks they are? Or do you think this was an outlier?
Outlier. I'll tell you why. Outlier because the Patriots, it was time of possession for me is what happened. And I mean, the Jets had 8 penalties in this game for 106 yards. They are a penalty prone team from what I can see so far. Their time of possession was 40 minutes. It's insane. Um, and they went up against one of the worst, if not, I say it is the worst O line in the league. The Patriots allowed 7 sacks, so they just Rodgers had his way with them on the field, and the fact that Rodgers could not put up more than 24 points kind of blows my mind when they had the ball for 40 minutes. When they had the ball for over 2/3 of the football game on offense, I'm sorry. They should have done more. Um, and Rodgers, if you watched the game, I don't know if you saw any of the sideline antics between Rodgers and Saleh. Like they don't get along. Did you see him where he tried to hug Rodgers and Rodgers like pushes him back and pushes
Yeah,
him
and then
away?
lip readers, I guess, said that Roger said like not yet or it's not over yet or something like that, implying that
But
like
they
save
were
this for after the game kind of
Yeah,
thing.
but they were constantly bickering. Like Rodgers was anytime Rodgers had a mistake, like it was always never his fault. It was Robert Saleh's fault. I don't see that being a healthy relationship going down the line, even though he's the one that pulled him in. Like, I just don't see it being healthy going down the line. They're a penalty prone team. Rodgers is going to be like, oh, look at me. Look what I did. I'm efficient. I'm great. Look, I just crushed the Patriots, one of the worst teams in the league at home. Like, no,
Yeah, that is
go,
a very
go,
good
go
point.
fuck yourself.
That
And
is a very good point with them having like essentially a perfect game, having the ball 40 minutes compared to the Patriots barely having it for 20, and still they only got 24 points. Especially also they got to Brissett a lot, and then May came in for
and
what 10 plays,
yeah, and
and
May got sacked twice. Like Brissett got sacked 5 times, and then Drake May came in. He got sacked twice. That O line is horrible. And the first play, God help me all, for Drake May was almost an interception. Like
thoughts on Drake May in this game, Casino? Any sparks? Anything you
no,
like what you see?
I
No.
couldn't really see anything from it, to be honest. I mean, he threw 4 passes. Let me see what that
No, he
is
threw
here.
8 passes
Okay, he threw
but
8 passes,
completed
4
4.
completion. Yeah, not great. He was pressured. He got sacked twice. You're not going to see much out of him until they get that O line fixed, which won't be until next season.
Also the making Rodgers in this game throw 35 times is crazy that you're making your older 40-year-old injury prone quarterback drop
Yeah.
back
Okay,
35 times
and
in week 2.
that bolsters my point on the fact that Rodgers can only put up 24 points.
That is a good point. But today it's gonna be Jets hype train, crazy, all this kind of stuff. Also, I think we have gotten to the point now where it's these weird outlier games, like the Thursday night games, whenever they have Friday night games. I feel like you can just throw those out the window, right? It's always so just like a weird circumstance. It always feels like one team is just like punting on the game or just kind of being like, we're done. And the other team, it always just feels like bad games happen on Thursday night because the one or the other teams just decided not to show up or just make this their rest game. I'm not saying that's what happened last night. The Jets did look good, but again, 24 points, that much of controlling the clock, that many passes. Yeah, it's weird. Rodgers did by far have his best game in maybe 3 years. 27 of
Yeah, all
35,
right.
281, 2
Again,
touchdowns.
against the Patriots, like,
But the Patriots defense is good.
okay, they're better. That's fair. That's fair. And I do like the Patriots defense, but it's still, you got to do more. You have the ball for 40 minutes. You're throwing that many times. You need to make something happen.
All right, Casino. Let's move on after that. Also, just the Thursday nights are just bad games. Bad. That was just boring. But let's move on, Casino, to marquee, mid, or miserable. And I did not send these to you, so these are my takes, and I actually like when you say if you agree with them or not. So first up, marquee matchups. These are the ones you bring people to the theater, you put it up on the marquee, you bring the fans into the stands to watch what should be a good game between two top teams. And I say two top teams loosely, and I'm talking about my team. First marquee matchup, Eagles at Saints. Uh, First off, do you agree that this is a marquee matchup for week 3?
I do, solely because we got to know what the Saints are. Are they for real or are they not? And then same vice versa for the Eagles. Are they bad or was that just a slip? Like, this is a big game proving one or the other for each team. And I circled this one because I think after this game we will know from these two teams what they are.
Yes, and also a little bit of the Beach trivia for you on this one, Casino.
Oh,
Uh, the last day I ever worked my first job ever, which was at Pizza Hut. I think you and Tommy are the only two that ever drove around with me to make deliveries.
I wasn't me.
Then it might have just been Tommy. I
Probably.
think he was the only one. But January 13th in oh, what? Oh, no, I just lost it. Hold on. It was September. No.
Well, this is
Great.
going
Oh,
great.
there it is. It was no, it wasn't that day
All right.
either.
Well,
What
what's the point?
the
Let's start
point
there. Jesus.
I'm trying to think right now, but I'm not finding it.
So
The
horrible
last
stall.
this is a terrible fact right here, but the fact was the last day I ever worked at my first ever job at Pizza Hut was because I quit because they would not give me the day off. I already had another job lined up, but they wouldn't give me the day off to watch the Eagles Saints playoff game. So I quit in the middle of my 2-week notice. I quit like 4 days after I'd given my 2-week notice because they wouldn't let me watch this game. And then I quit early. The guy was really mad at me, and I was like, well, what are you going to do? You wouldn't give me the day off. And then I literally watched the Eagles lose to the Saints in the playoffs. And I was like, God damn. Like, I literally put the blame on myself because it was bad karma. But
I'm so glad we listened to that story.
thank you so much. I don't know what playoff day it was, but I will figure it out. However, Casino, in this game, Eagles potentially might have the worst defense in the league, maybe one of the best offenses until the final 2 minutes of a game. I don't know what we're doing here. Saints just look like they have a top 5 offense, top 10 defense in the league. So by all accounts, this should be Saints in a blowout. But why won't it be? Because are you picking Eagles or Saints?
Let me pull up what I sent to you because I had it all written out.
Yeah.
I am picking the Saints. I picked the Saints. And solely because what you talked about right there, their offense is pretty good so far. They surprised me against Dallas. So in Dallas. So going up against that Eagles defense playing in New Orleans, I want to see it. I think I want to see it. I think they could pull it off. Plus, I just want to see you cry. I want to see more of those gifs, the gifs or gifs, whatever they are.
I will post that video one day to the podcast that I send to all my friend groups when the Eagles lose. And or maybe I can't post it because it has a licensed song in it, but it's just me staring out the window as a sad song plays while tears run down my face. Are they real tears or not? That's for me to know and everyone else to figure out. But uh, I am also picking the Saints. Casino. You look at both
Is that
these.
a reverse jinx, or is this just a legit? You're picking the Saints.
It why can't it be both? I
Well,
want it
because
to
I need an
be
answer. That's why.
I
No
want
cop
it to
outs here.
be
No
I
cop
want
outs
it
here.
to be reverse jinx, but I just think right now the Saints are better than the Eagles. If the Eagles won by doing 2 tush pushes in a row, or if Saquon catches that ball Monday night and they win that game against Atlanta, and all of a sudden it's, that like the Eagles coming off that win in prime time going into the Saints, then it's a completely different story. But the way they lost that game, Kirk Cousins right now is not a better quarterback than Derek Carr,
I
and
don't know.
Derek Carr,
Prime time, man.
he might be the in contention for best quarterback in the league right now, just based on the first 2 weeks of the season. So going against a defense right now in the Eagles that at the moment is 28th ranked overall. So they're
Rough, buddy.
they're a top 5 worst team
God,
in the
man, I
league.
look
They look like it on
fat.
Monday night.
Sorry. I'm gonna have to. I'm just pulling up. I'm not gonna even look at the screen anymore. I'm just gonna look at all the other shit. All right. This is much better. I like this.
Yeah, there you go. Saints right now, 4th overall in defense, 7th overall, or 4th overall in offense, 7th overall in defense.
Who would have thunk
Two
it?
Yeah. The wheels will fall off eventually, I think, for this team. I don't think this is the week they'll do it. So I'm picking the Saints, half for the reverse jinx, half that I just think the Saints are a buzzsaw and I wouldn't want to be the next team to face them at this moment. But also, Casino, last week I said, oh, this team's getting all the hype. This team's getting shit on. Could it be reversed? And I don't remember what team that was, and I don't remember if that theory was correct. So I'm just moving it to this game, and hopefully that changes. Next marquee matchup, Casino. This is kind of a battle against our teams, not in terms of teams we're fans of, because you're Patriots, I'm Eagles, but in terms of teams I feel like on this podcast, individually root for. And that is your Texans at my Vikings. I'm even wearing Vikings purple just on accident that I just realized. It's not a Viking shirt, it's a Johnny Cash shirt, which also I think is a Johnny Cash song that I'm crying about in the video with the Eagles. But Texans at Vikings Casino,
Ugh.
2-0 teams. Who you got? My daddies or your daddies?
I got my daddies.
Oh, you're going Texans.
I'm going Texans. But is this still? I don't know if this is a marquee, man.
I mean,
I
it's
know they're
2
both.
2-0, 2-0.
I know they're 2-0. I got all right. I got to see what the Vikings got to do. If they can pull this off against the Texans, and they go 3-0 to start the season, all right. Then I would have put this at a marquee game. I got to see it first.
That's
I
true.
still don't. I still don't have a lot of hype for the Vikings.
Now, I don't know if I was going to hold off a couple more weeks to start doing the offense and defensive numbers, but because I really don't think you can still make definitive
And then
statements about
so I will say
2
this. So
weeks
I did
in.
my favorite games of the week. So I guess I will throw this in as my marquee. My daughter's making so much noise. Um, but I did 3 favorite games for the week. The Saints Eagles was one. Texans Vikings was another. I sent you all these yesterday when we were supposed to do it. So I guess let's make it a marquee. It is a
Bam.
marquee. I
Uh
logged it down yesterday as one of my favorite games of the week.
Yeah, this is one of the ones. This is one of those weeks in the NFL where I have one, two, three, four, five, six marquee matchups, and then one, two, three, four mid matchups, and barely any miserable matchups. So this really does seem like a week where um yeah, just a lot of good games. This is one of those ones where you bring the TVs from all the other rooms, hook them up, and you're watching everything. That's what I'm going to do. But the Texans, 2 weeks into this season, third overall in defense. So again, they played Caleb Williams. I can't remember who they played week one. It was Anthony Richardson, Colts. So they play basically against two rookie quarterbacks, but I do think their defense is legit. And they're also playing against Sam Darnold, who
I don't have faith in.
well, he should basically be a rookie. He's ranked right there with every rookies at the end of the season, even though he's in, I think, going into year 5. But as much as I love my Vikings, I agree with you. I will fully be on the bandwagon with them if they win this game. This is a prove it to me game. Last week was a weird anomaly. I told you the 49ers fan at work said Vikings always beat them. So now, if they beat the Texans, I'm fully on board the Minnesota Vikings hype train, especially with my Eagles giving me aneurysms every week. But next up, Casino, let's go to a marquee matchup, just Smash Mouth. You love Smash Mouth, the band, the football, the burgers. Chargers at Steelers,
And
Casino.
this was my third favorite game of the week.
Bam,
I
3
need
in
to
a row.
yeah, 3 in a row. I need to see this game. Um, Chargers, Steelers, I mean, you got 2-0 teams. I think I picked the Chargers for this one because I can't go against Harbaugh with that smash in the mouth run game that he's got going on.
Yeah.
Um, but I am excited to see this. Those terrible towels in pit will be going. I mean, shit, they're 2-0. Nobody expected that, especially when they they named uh, Justin Fields their quarterback over Mr. Hurt Russell Wilson.
He is correct. He is not playing in this game, right? It's
Yeah,
still going to be Justin
to
Fields.
to my and again, we kind of alluded to it last week, where if Justin Fields goes 3-0 and hell 4-0, whatever it may be, you can't take him out. Even though you've already said to the media, Russ is our guy. Russ is our guy. He won the starting job. Yeah, you're gonna look like a dick to Russ, but I mean, I don't think your fans would be mad if you go 3-4-0 with Justin Fields. You go with what's working. I mean,
Especially
being
when
a hockey guy,
when
which hockey's
Fields has
about to
looked
start,
good.
hell yeah. And being a hockey guy, I love it. There's always a saying in hockey, you go with the hot glove. You go with the hot glove. When it's your goalie and there's a goalie that it might be your third stringer goalie. if he is on fire, if his glove is hot, you stick with it. You don't change it. And and you know what? The starting goalies and the backups or whatever, whoever it may be, they know that. So that's why goalies in hockey do not want to miss any time because they know that they could get replaced like that if
Yeah.
there's a hot goalie that comes in. And it's happened many times.
Well, also the thing that keeps being failed to mention when it comes to the Steelers and Russell Wilson is he signed a 1-year contract. So it's not like he's locked on this big money deal like he was in Denver or anything. So I don't know why, if Justin Fields is playing good, like you said, if they win this game, they're 3-0, they're 4-0, they're 4-1, and Russ is like, I can come back. It'd be like, why? We have a younger guy we could potentially sign to a long-term contract, lead in this offense, be in the new slash like they used to have with oh god, I can't remember his name. Who used to be the Steelers quarterback, but also going into this game, this is crazy. This is the number 2 defense in the Chargers versus the number 5 defense in the Steelers. Third rushing attack in the league, the Chargers have. 13th rushing attack, the Steelers have. And in passing, Chargers 29th in the league, Steelers 30th. So
Hmm.
neither of these teams pass. They just play defense and run the
It's gonna be
ball.
a ground and pound kind of game.
Last time these teams played, Casino, November 21st, 2021, the score was Chargers 41, Steelers 37. Odds that this game is similar to that score.
Yeah,
41-37.
not at all.
0% chance, but I feel like this is a 17-14 game all day, just field position. A lot of punting in this game.
A lot
A
of
lot of
punting,
punting.
game management, clock management. Yeah.
And this is also
Coaching is gonna come into play, and who better than these 2 coaches to
yeah.
go against each
Last
other?
week we
This is gonna
talked
be
about
great.
the huge coaching disadvantage in one game. This one is like dead even, right? Dead even. I like both these coaches, but I went with Casino on this one as well. I'm also going Chargers, even though this game being in Pittsburgh does scare me. So I just think the Chargers are a better team at this moment, even though I like what the Steelers have done all season. Next up, Casino, we have a marquee matchup that I wonder if you do think this is where it starts getting to
Well, this
are
is
these
where it's
marquee
dicey because I
matchups.
only picked those 3.
So next up, we have Lions and Cardinals. Mid. This is mid
M
for you.
This is mid to me.
Your lovely Lions against the Arizona Cardinals. Who you got in this one, Casino? Both teams 1-1. Both teams losing games they probably should have won. But yeah,
I I picked the Lions solely on the fact that I feel like this is an early must-win game for the Lions if they want to be a Super Bowl contender
yeah.
because
You think
they're gonna need better seating in the playoffs, in my opinion. They need some home games, and starting the season 1 and 2 does not look good.
no, especially
They've
again
all been close
is
games. You need a definitive win coming up.
yeah, and I'm actually going with the Cardinals in this
That's fair,
game.
and I knew you would, and I'm totally fine with that. But
Yeah.
I feel like the Lions have to win this game. They just have to.
Again, you look at the Lions being 1-1, and then you look at their stats, you look at their players, you look at the games they played, and it's like, A, how have those games been close? B, how didn't they win both of them? And then you look at what they did in them. Third in total offense, 13th in total defense, third in the league in passing, 10th in the league in rushing. Those are all numbers where you're like, this should be a 2-0 team going into Arizona. But it being at Arizona Stadium scares me because the Cardinals are always really good at home. And they have the 8th ranked total offense in the league, 12th defense, 16th in the league in passing, 5th in the league in rushing. So I think also the coaching in this game, I don't trust the Cardinals coach at all. I don't think he's a good coach. I've made that case
I
ever since
mean,
he
dude,
got hired, ever since he was
there's
he
so
was
many games this week that are within -3,
yeah.
like within
Well,
3 points of each other.
Well, also last week it was like all the favorites lost and the underdogs are like 16-3 or something like that
Yeah.
against the spread. So 2 weeks into the NFL season, again, as we said last week, we know nothing. But Casino's going Lions. I'm going Cardinals. Also, I forgot to mention Casino. Our picks for last week were abysmal. Uh I got 6 games right. You only got 4. You only got 4 games right. So
That was rough, buddy.
going into this week, I am up 2 games on you, 17-15. Could this be the year I finally win the regular season? We will see. We will see. But next marquee matchup, Casino. I think this is more marquee matchup just from the teams and names involved compared to the actual game itself. And that is Ravens at Cowboys. I believe this is America's game of the week on Fox. Who you got in this one, Casino? Both teams, well, Ravens shockingly 0-2, Cowboys 1-1.
Kind of the same thing for the Lions. I have the Ravens winning this game because what I just saw last week that Dallas happened. I think there's too much offseason noise. That loss really shattered them and rocked them, I think, heavily. Um, I really think that the Ravens got to pull this off if they want a chance. They have to win it. They have to put something in the win column because if they don't win today and they go 0-3, they have to go on a 3-game win streak just to get back to 500. Like that's rough. And 500 does not guarantee you into the playoffs. So
No.
they almost have to be perfect if they lose this game from there on out. So I think this is a must win for the Ravens, especially with Dallas. Not I picked them to be not the best team this year. Um, we both did that. The Ravens. This is a must win. This is my upset of the week. I mean, the Ravens are only actually no, the line changed. Oh shit, the line's changed. Yeah, because this was my upset of the week. Um
Well, you find that out. I will just
Yeah.
read. So both, as you said, going 0-2, where the Steelers, who we just talked about, are 2-0. Both the Bengals and Ravens are 0-2. I still think one of those teams can make it to the playoffs. But
Oh
again,
no. This wasn't my upset of the week.
the
Continue.
Bengals are playing against Washington on Monday night, a game we'll get to in a little bit. But Ravens have a much harder schedule than the Bengals because obviously they're
Oh,
playing a
I know.
first
I,
place
I
schedule
remember my
versus
upset. Sorry.
the
I
fourth
remember my
place
upset of the week.
schedule. The Ravens right now, same thing with the Lions almost, where you look at their ratings and their stats and their offense and defense. Second in the league in total offense, 14th in defense, fifth in the league in passing, seventh in the league in rushing, and still they're 0-2 because again, they played the Chiefs, almost won that one, played the Raiders, almost loved that one, and kind of gave that game away to the Ravens, especially, or to the Raiders, I should say, at the end. Our Raiders, who's a team I still think is just abysmal. So for them to lose that game is really going to come back to haunt them. Cowboys, 1 week got blown out by what appears to be the best team in the NFC at the moment, which is Saints with Kubiak Jr. now being the best offensive coordinator in the league. Who saw that coming? But I agree with Casino. The Ravens, this is the last hope for them because again, Steelers are 0-2, Steelers are 2-0, could potentially be 3-0, and you're down 0-3 going into week 4 of the season. So not only do you have to then win basically all your games or the next 3 games in a row just to get to 500, you have to hope the Steelers just collapse. So really, this is 1-2 sounds a lot better than 0-3.
0-3.
Yeah, this is the last gasp for this Ravens team. I even think this early on in the season, because with the way they've been playing and just kind of, again, it just feels like they just kind of are going through the motions in games and then just being like, oh shit, we're about to lose. And then kind of just like turn it on in the fourth quarter and then lose. So yeah, I don't know. And again, like you said, I have no confidence with this Cowboys team. They have no rushing attack. They're 26th in the league in rushing,
But they got Zeke.
19th in the league in offense.
Feed
Their
me. Feed me.
defense
Oh,
Defense
that's
not nearly as good as we thought it would be, 18th in the league. Now, again, that number's skewed because they just got blown out by the Saints, but still, they got blown out by the Saints with a defense we thought was supposed to be a top 3 defense in the league. So,
by the way, I gotta ask, was the Cardinals your upset of the week?
what's the line on that game?
-3 Detroit.
I think I might have a bigger upset, but yes. At the moment right now, that is. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. I'll put that down as my
Unless
upset.
you're going Commanders to beat the Bengals.
I am
Minus
not. I just had to check my picks. So yeah, that's going to be my upset of the week is Cardinals over Lions.
got it. I
But
got a different one. Yeah.
next up, Casino, my last of the marquee matchups happens to be Sunday night, and that is Chiefs at Falcons. And this is strictly based on how hyped the Falcons were, how the Chiefs are 2-0 going for the three-peat. So again, more names versus games because I really do think the Chiefs just wiped the floor with this Falcons team.
Oh, all day. I'm kind of done with the Falcons mentally.
I mean,
Um,
I wish I was done with the Falcons, but that
no.
loss will haunt my brain forever.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, I'm not gonna even watch this game, dude. I'll be honest. I mean, I'll be at work, so it'll be on, but I will not look at this game at all. I
Uh
what's gonna happen? We know what's gonna happen. It's gonna be a close game. There's gonna be a call at the end of the game. The Chiefs are gonna win, and Travis Kelsey's still gonna have a horrible game, and Patrick Mahomes is gonna throw 2 picks, and they're still gonna win the game, and they're gonna be like, "We're the best team in the league." I'm sorry. I just can't. I just can't. I just can't. I just
Now,
can't.
much like the
Why I'm already just frustrated just in the name of
you're
the Chiefs.
thinking about it. Yeah, you're thinking about the game and you're frustrated. I haven't even played it yet. But I feel like much like the Cowboys, but more so with the Chiefs because they are 2 and
Ooh.
0. They are trying to three-peat. They are the favorites in the league to win the Super Bowl again. You look at what their defense has done both against Lamar Jackson and the Ravens and then Joe Burrow and this Bengals, and they could easily be 0-2 in those games if like 1 or 2 plays literally were any different. Their defense right now in the league ranked 27th. So again, I think the stat is no team has ever won the Super Bowl with without like a top 12 defense or some weird shit like that. Or I think it's only happened once or twice. But you need a good defense, especially in the playoffs. I don't care if you're the Chiefs. I don't care if you're going for history, all that kind of stuff. That shit matters where you actually need a good defense when games matter. So
It doesn't matter when you're the Chiefs. When you still have this when my daughter says it does matter, but it doesn't matter when you have the zebras on your side. The zebras, Michaela. The zebras.
Casino, would you like the hat of number one Chiefs hater just in the
No,
world?
I know way worse Chiefs haters than me.
But I also don't like the Chiefs. I don't like to see them succeed. I still am picking them to win this game because I don't think the
Yep.
Falcons are nearly as good as we thought they were. I
Nope.
think they should be probably 0-2 at this moment if the Eagles don't just continue this historic collapse, which I really enjoy when my
Continuing from
team
last year.
yeah, just continues to shit the bed over and over again. It's very fun. Uh
Hey, you got a Super Bowl.
yeah, maybe the last one I'll ever see in my lifetime, but we got
Potentially.
one. But hey, there's some teams out there that don't even have one, so
Yeah,
I
I
should be
mean,
grateful.
my 20s were great,
Casino's team might never win one again. So
and
in
I'm
his
fine with that.
lifetime.
I'm
Yeah.
fine with that. I gotta see them win so many. I gotta see them win 6 in my lifetime.
But yeah, we're going both with the Chiefs in that game. The Falcons, again, I don't even know if they're good. They're 20th in the league in basically every stat line right now. So Ugh. And
Ugh.
they should not have won that game on Monday night, but and now the rest of the season I will bring me joy when I see the Falcons fail. But next up, Casino, let's go to the mid matchups. Now, as I defined mid, it's where some of the game could be interesting. Maybe you just want to see what the other team does, if they can do it against a bad team. The miserable matchups are where it's bad teams versus bad teams. Mid matchups are where you at least like half the matchup or something in the game is intriguing to you. So, first, I put Broncos at Bucks. Now I could have put this in miserable, but I put it in mid just specifically to see, can the Tampa Bay Buccaneers keep up their momentum? Can the Baker Mayfield just keep, can basically the Buccaneers, I put this here all for the Buccaneers. Can they be 3-0? Will Baker Mayfield keep continuing to make his case for, I mean, MVP at this point? It's him and Derek Carr.
Yo, dude, right?
But thoughts on this game, Casino? I got the Bucks for obvious
I've got
reasons. I'm
I've
assuming
got
you
the
have the same.
Bucks. I've got the Bucks. Go Baker. Baker gonna bake. He's gonna bake them cakes, patty cakes. I love Baker.
Keep it going. Keep it
Yeah,
going.
I'm not Eminem. I'm not Eminem, and I am not Joe Burrow. Um, so yeah, I really like Tampa right now. I really, really like Baker. His attitude down there is just so good. It's just so good. He's gonna wipe the floor with the Broncos, meaning the Broncos are gonna win by 30, but he's gonna wipe the floor with the Broncos.
So
I'm very excited for this, man.
weirdly enough, you look at it on just from a stats on paper perspective, and Broncos actually have better ratings and stats than the Buccaneers do, even though if you've watched the two Broncos games they played, they just looked abysmally bad in that game. They have a top 10 defense in the league. They're ranked number 9 at the moment. Buccaneers defense ranked 26th, which is concerning, but they did play what, the Lions, and then who did they play week 1? It
Uh,
was
I'm pulling it up. Sorry.
no problem. And then they were 14th
Commanders.
in the Commanders. Oh. So passing, they're 14th in the league thanks to Baker Mayfield, 25th in the league in pass or in rushing. Neither of these teams have any type of run offense whatsoever. At least for the Buccaneers, they have a passing offense. Broncos have neither a passing or rushing offense. That's why they're 29th in the league. So a top 3 worst offense in the league in the Broncos. But again, I just want to see what Baker Mayfield can do against a top 10 defense that their defense might be legit, but I don't think they can put up any points whatsoever. Next up, Casino. This one, dare I say, sneaky good game. Bears at Colts. The
So
Caleb
This is my upset of the week with Bears beating Indy, and I do that in quotations because it's only a 1.5 line with the Colts victory, and I'm sure that's just the at home advantage. Um, I'll tell you why this is my upset of the week, and that is because what I saw from Anthony Richardson throwing 3 picks against against uh, gosh darn it, who did they just play? Now I'm blanking.
the Packers.
The Packers. Thank you. Um, Against the Packers, who are better, who are better. Um, but yeah, this is definitely my upset of the week here, and I'm really, really excited to see the Chicago Bears defense go out there and kick some ass.
So now, Casino, I don't know if you heard or not, but before the season started, Caleb Williams was being compared to Patrick Mahomes. I don't know if you recall that. I don't know
I
if you
do.
remember that. Multiple talking heads on all these other sports shows, obviously not sports podcasts because they're the only one, but on television, different forms of media, radio shows, right? We're all saying Bears are going to go to the Super Bowl. They're going to go to the playoffs. Caleb Williams gonna come in, have a CJ Stroud like rookie season. So far, 2 weeks into the season, the Bears are 1-1, and they are ranked 32nd in the league in passing. Let me look real quick. Oh no, there's only 32 teams in the league, Casino, so they are dead last in passing, but they have the most, like, he's the going to the most ready team a rookie quarterback has ever gone to.
I,
32nd in the league in
dude,
passing,
I told you this team was not there. I said it.
28th in the league in rushing. So, like the Rex Grossman years, like the Jay Cutler years, well, not like the Jay Cutler years, because at least they had some semblance of an offense. They're doing it all with defense. They have the 8th ranked defense in the league. I actually think they might be better than 8th. They look like a top 5 defense to me when you watch them play, especially with on Sunday night how they shut CJ Stroud down for most of that game.
Yeah.
And Texans only scored 16 points, like,
19.
or 19. Yeah, the Bears defense to me is really impressive. The Bears offense to me is like what it says on paper, the worst in the league. But the Colts, on the other hand, 16th in total offense, 29th in total defense. So if Caleb Williams does not put up points or offense in this game, I think this is the game he gets his first touchdown in, because the Colts defense is just so bad. Their
Yes,
offense,
but
however,
but Caleb Williams is going to most likely miss, Allen as well. From what I'm reading is Allen is gonna be out with his heel injury for a second straight game.
oh, Keenan Allen will
Yeah.
not be in this game. Well, he's still got Adunzie. He's still got DJ Moore. He has Swift. He's got tight ends. Again, most ready team a number one quarterback has ever gone to, or a rookie quarterback has ever gone to, and they're 32nd and 28th in the league. So this should be the game the Bears win. It won't be, because I'm also going with the Colts casino. You said the Bears were
I said,
fate. Are you
no,
going Bears?
I'm going Bears because Anthony Richardson throwing 3 picks last week in Green Bay. I like this Bears defense. I think the Bears defense gets them another W, just like what they did against the Titans.
And this is your upset pick.
Yes. And
Okay.
there could have been another upset pick, but I don't think it's gonna be much of an I don't know why. Tennessee, Green Bay. I don't know why Tennessee's favored. I'm going Green Bay.
That game
Spoiler
I
alert.
put in miserable matchups. Uh, but you know what? Let's move that up to a mid matchup since you want to talk about it. Let's go to a casino. Green Bay at Tennessee. Green Bay 1-1. Tennessee 0-2. I think this will be a mid matchup because I do want to see what this Green Bay Packers team is. Uh, much like what they were last week. Shockingly, at the moment, the Tennessee Titans have the number one defense in the league. Who saw that coming? Number one
Nah,
defense.
I did not. But
Uh, I,
I know that's the case, but I'm still gonna go pick Packers over this because for some reason I just feel like the Packers are gonna pull this off.
yeah, the Packers offense ranks sixth in the league, 25th in defense. They are sixth in the league mostly by their rushing attack. Numbers two in the league behind Josh Jacobs.
He's
You
looking
are
great.
going, you're going Titans in this game, Casino.
No, I'm not. I'm going Packers.
Oh.
I said this could have been my other upset of the week, but I don't feel like it's gonna be much of an upset because I don't know why the Titans are yes, okay, number one defense. Cool. I don't agree with that. I don't care what that number says. I don't. Um, I think the Packers are as good as what we thought. They went up against the Jets, the Titans, and they went up against the Bears. Look what it's the Bears. You know, that game made them that's 10 spots right there. You know,
Yeah.
that's 10 spots right there. And
Well,
then
that's why I hate, looking at these numbers so early in the season, because literally they went against a guy who threw for 90 yards, and
yeah.
that's why they're number one in
And then when they
defense.
played the Jets, I mean, Aaron Rodgers still put up 2 touchdowns on them. Like
Yeah.
like come on now. Come on now. Come on
Well,
now.
that's insane that the Titans are favored. Maybe it's just because it's in Tennessee. I don't
Maybe.
know,
I don't
but
know. I don't agree with this. I'm going Packers.
yeah,
It is
I
a
agree.
train.
I'm also going Packers. I think it's just going to be much like the game we just saw them play, which is just running the ball, having Malik Willis throw it 8 times, and rushing Josh Jacobs and their other running backs 30 times in this game, playing defense, which against Will Levis isn't hard, and then just coming out with the win. Next up, Casino. This was almost miserable, but I want to see more from the Dolphins. I like what I've seen from Seattle so far this year. Miami Dolphins 1-1 going into Seattle 2-0. I'm picking the Seahawks. How about you, Casino?
I'm picking the Seahawks as well.
Oh, so are we getting back to our horny roots, Casino? Last episode, our horniest episode ever. This one, we're both going Seahawks, even though Miami, fourth in the league in total defense, second in the league in passing. Obviously, that was with Tua.
That's just
Uh,
Tua and Tyreek.
yeah, 21st in the league in rushing, ninth in the league in total offense. Seattle, on the other hand, sixth in the league in defense, which is the biggest shocker because the Geno Smith era of the Seahawks has just been him making up for abysmal defense. So sixth in the league in total defense, 15th in the league in total offense, seventh in the league in passing. Dare I say Geno's been cooking, Casino, so far this season. I know you watched him play against your team last week.
Yeah,
So
and yes, again, I know it was the Patriots and their defense is pretty good. It's better than most people thought. But the throws that I saw Gino make in tight spaces with being pressured, I was really impressed because pressure's pressure. Tight windows are tight windows. That it doesn't matter. You still got to make those plays, and I was really impressed with his gameplay. So I'm
yeah.
going Seahawks on this one.
Yeah, I'm going Seahawks as well. I mean, what a crazy world we would live in if week 4 going into the NFL season, we'd have 3-0 Buccaneers, 3-0 Saints, and 3-0 Seattle Seahawks. That would be crazy. Uh let's move on, Casino. I put as my last two mid matchups, I put both Monday night games. They're doing that dumb thing where for some reason this week we have two Monday night games for no reason whatsoever that again start within half an hour of each other. So why are we doing that Monday night? I don't understand it. But first up, I have the 0-2 Jacksonville Jaguars at the 2-0 Buffalo Bills. I think this is the last gasp for the Jacksonville Jaguars, and I want to see if Buffalo really is real. And they just, because if Buffalo on Monday night just blows out this Jaguars team, how can anybody be like they're not for real? Right? Like this
I
is,
have the Bills. I have the Bills to taking them down.
yeah.
Easy.
And I also, Casino, this is my blowout of the week. I'm
Oh,
picking the Bills to
nice.
blow out the Jaguars, put the final stake in this Jaguars team.
I was gonna make this one my blowout of the week, but I've saved it for another one.
All right. So both Bills on that one. Let's just move right over to Commanders at Bengals Casino. Your rookie of the year, probably now everyone's rookie of the year from what we've seen from Caleb Williams. But 1-1 Washington Commanders at 0-2 Bengals. Bengals top 10 defense in the league, which is refreshing to see compared to last year. 17th in the league in passing behind Joe Burrow, who looked fantastic in that Chiefs game. Will this be the game, Casino, where we see the emergence of Jaden Daniels, or is this the return of Joe Burrow?
I think a little bit of both, actually. To be honest, I do have. Where did I put in here? I do have the Bengals winning this game. Just make double checking. Just don't want to say something wrong. I do have them winning this game, and I have the Commanders going 1-2, and the Bengals going 1-2. But I do have, in my mind, I think Jaden Daniels is going to do a good job protecting the football again. I mean, that's what you want from your quarterback is to kind of keep you in games and protect the football, especially a rookie quarterback. I thought they were going to be a little better. That was my hot take, and they still have more season to go. They can have time to get it figured out. But this is a must win for the Bengals, just like it is for the Ravens. I think Joey B comes out. I think he puts up some real impressive numbers. And if he doesn't, then that's put a stake in him. Then they're done. If they start
Yeah.
the season 0-3 and Joey B, I love him. I love him. I will always love him. I will, but he's going to be done. But I do think Jaden Daniels has a good game protecting the football. He puts us okay numbers. And then I do have the Bengals winning with Joe Burrow putting up an impressive game.
Uh, Yeah, I agree with everything you said. I do think the Commanders, again, Bengals have top 10 defense. The Commanders are sixth in the league in rushing, mostly behind Jaden Daniels' legs. So I think we're going to see a lot more of what we saw in that Giants game where he's just escaping the pocket, running all over the field because this Commanders offensive line, if the Bears didn't exist, and the Patriots didn't exist, they might have the worst offensive line in the league. Uh, Again, going against that ferocious Bengals D line that gave Patrick Mahomes fits. I don't know how Jaden Daniels comes out and is just better than Mahomes was. So I expect this to be Very few passing yards for the Commanders, a lot of scrambling, a lot of runs by Jaden
But even
Daniels,
with him doing that, he's been protecting the football. So
but he's been taking big shots. So that's what I'd be scared of. Just getting knocked out of this
yeah,
game or the next
being
couple
the next
games.
RG3, yeah.
Yeah, where he runs too much, he doesn't slide, he just takes because I mean some of those hits in
And
the
then he
Giants
starts a
games.
podcast.
Yeah. Some of those hits in the game were brutal, brutal. I thought that was the last mid, but this is the last mid casino, and that is 49ers at the LA Rams. I put this in here mostly
This
because I
is
want to see how Purdy bounces back,
you put
how the
this at a
Rams
mid?
do. Oh, this was almost miserable, but I kind
This
of
is
have a
miserable
lot
to
of
me, dude. The fact that the Rams have no offensive power. The Niners are still missing a couple key pieces. Like I have the Niners winning this game, but this is going to be an ugly game to watch, man.
yeah.
Come
In the
on.
uh
I
yeah.
mean,
You know what?
I can see the Niners like putting up a good number against the Rams because the Rams just can't stay on the field. But so it might look lopsided, but it's not going to be a pretty game. It's not
So
going to be
let's
a pretty game. I missed my opportunity.
Let's move to miserable matchups. First game, 49ers at Rams. Uh for for Casino just convinced me right there. Yeah, I'm curious to see what both these offenses look like with both these offenses' biggest weapons basically being out. So now you have Purdy versus Stafford. Both them are missing their top two offensive weapons. Again, for Matthew Stafford and the Rams, it's like, what is he supposed to do? He's missing his two top weapons. And for Purdy and the 49ers, it's like, this is all Purdy can do, and he's missing his weapons. And this comes from the number one 49ers hater. But I don't understand how Purdy gets all the shit when his guys are injured and everybody else just is like, what are they supposed to do? Their guys are injured. And Purdy's like, well, he's not doing anything. His guys are injured. It's such a weird double standard. I don't understand the Purdy hate. But still, with the injuries, they're top 5 in total offense in the league for the Niners. Rams 18th. The defense of the Rams has just been abysmal, really missing Aaron Donald, 31st in the league in defense, 31st in the league in running. So, again, this Rams team, brutal, brutal. I'm going to the Rams Eagles game again this year, Casino. So I
Nice.
want the Rams to keep being bad so the Eagles can finally, like, can I, as an Eagles fan, can I just get a blowout? Please. Can I get one blowout a season? That's all I ask. And I hope it's against the Rams when I go see them. But yeah.
Man, that could have gone south really fast.
No, since I've got this haircut, blowouts every day, Casino. All right, let's go.
There it is.
To the next miserable matchup. Shockingly, only 3 this week. 49ers Rams. It was only going to be 2, but Casino convinced me otherwise. Giants at Browns, Casino.
I'm
This
not
will
gonna
be
watch this game.
this will be a game I try to watch absolutely zero of.
But Red Zone will put every second of it on.
Yeah, I'll see every second of this game thanks to Red Zone, even though I want to watch none of it. The Giants are at the Browns. Browns defense 11th in the league. Everything else in this game, the Giants defense, both these teams offense, passing and rushing, all in the low 20s, mid 20s. These are two bad teams. With the bright spot obviously be the Browns defense that I think it will finish the season as a top 8 defense in this league. Giants, I don't know what you're doing. You're just in a downward spiral and have been for years behind the arm and legs of Vanilla Vic, Daniel Jones. Casino, is it's just Browns, right? We're both picking Browns just because of their defense. You're on mute.
Wait a second. I want to see what I put here. I, for some reason, think I put Giants just because.
Ugh.
I did. I just picked Giants.
You picked Giants?
I
All
did.
right. Any rationale?
No. 0.
Is this your upset of the week? Or
No.
no, you picked Bears.
I picked Bears.
What was your
I got my blowout of the week, which will be the next game.
the next game, Casino, also abysmal, and that is So for that game, I'm picking Browns. Casino shockingly picking Giants.
I just put it on there because why not?
uh, Carolina Panthers 0-2 going against the 1-1 Raiders. The Panthers, however, will now be behind the arm of the Red Rocket, Red Rifle,
No, it's
Andy
the Red
Dalton.
Rocket. I mentioned that to one of my regulars at work last night that I was going to this game, and even though the Red Rocket's going to be in and whatnot, but I said Red Rifle originally. And he goes, "You mean the Red Rocket?" And I was like, "Thank you." And he goes, "Yeah." He goes, "Dog's penis," and I was like, "Thank you." I was like, "We did a whole segment on that." He goes, "Whatever keeps the viewers, man." So
Yeah, our numbers shot up right when you mentioned dog penis for last
yeah,
episode. It shot up.
it did just
Yeah.
like the Red Rockets.
uh, are you
Uh,
really going blowout of the week where the Raiders are going to blow out the
I
Panthers,
was
or are you going
impressed with
opposite?
what no, I was impressed what the Raiders did against the Ravens, and the Panthers, I think, are just so bad. And I'm going to this game, and I want it to be blowout of the week. I'm That's half of it. I
Boo.
Fuck off. I want it to be blowout of the week.
Eh,
When the Eagles go play the Rams, are you going to say you want blowout of the week?
yes,
So
that's
thank you.
true.
I'm going to
Yes.
the Raiders game. I want to see the Raiders blow out the Panthers
Again, the funny
because
thing
that will
is,
be the only blowout I get that day.
even with your new haircut,
Yeah.
I'll send you the number for my guy, which was actually a woman who cut my hair. So good. But the Panthers, 32nd in the offense, 31st in the league in passing. So they're still better passing offense than the Bears passing offense, which is astounding. 23rd overall defense going against 22nd overall defense with the Raiders. Raiders ninth in the league in passing behind Gardner Minshew, 32nd in the league of rushing. Maybe you shouldn't have got rid of Josh Jacobs, who is now the number, I think he's the leader this
He's
year
the
in
leader.
rushing yards. Yeah, so great job, Raiders, letting go of your best offensive weapon
And then
outside of
Derek
Devontae
Carr, who's
Adams.
crushing it with the Saints.
Yeah, exactly. So the Raiders 1-1, shockingly, because I also thought they should have lost that Ravens game. I thought this would be a matchup of two 0-2 teams. I'm going with the Raiders as well, even though it wouldn't shock me if Andy Dalton comes in and the Panthers having some semblance of an offense actually lets them win a game. But just miserable matchups, Casino. I feel like I'm forgetting a game, but I don't think I am. I think we talked about all of them. Yeah, we talked about all of them. So now it's time before we get out of here for Casino's Corner.
Yeah,
Uh,
so there's really only one thing that I mean, hockey's coming up. I'm very excited about that. Very, very, very excited about that. But there's really only one thing to talk about, and that is Mr. Shohei Otani.
oh, I wrote this down. Yeah.
What a man. What a night for him. So it was just, So if you missed it, what Shohei's been trying to go do is be the first person to ever have a 50-50 season where he has 50 home runs and 50 stolen bases. Well, last night he had just a mind-blowing game. It ended 20 to what was the Marlins score?
I don't know. I
20
just have his stats.
here. Shit, I'll pull this up. So Marlins just played. Gosh darn it. Uh, Casino Corner's great. So it was 20-4. I forgot the Marlins were a team until this happened. Truthfully, I forget that they're around. But Shohei Otani had 6 at bats because they were just destroying that team. That he got up to the bat 6 times. He had 6 for 6. He went 6 for 6. His RBIs were 10. So that made him, I think it was like the 16th, if I saw it right, the 16th player in MLB history to have 10 RBIs in a game, which is awesome. He had 3 home runs and 2 stolen bases. What an outstanding performance by Shohei Otani to not only achieve the 50-50 that nobody in baseball history has ever done before. And this is how you know the show is coming to an end. My daughter's getting cranky. So, but nobody, like, it's just mind blowing that the Dodgers, Shohei Otani was able to pull off a 6 for 6 night, 10 RBIs, 3 home runs, and 2 stolen bases. Just insanity. I want to know how much those home run balls, especially that last home run, well, the home run ball to hit him to 50 to get. Like, wow.
Yeah,
Like this
that's
is
yeah.
it's that night's like you couldn't have asked for a better night for him. It's just absolutely mind blowing. Congratulations to him, even with his whole scandal about money laundering and all that jazz and blah blah
Whoa,
blah blah
whoa, it
blah.
wasn't him, it was his manager. He knew
Sure,
nothing
sure,
about a
sure.
casino.
Whatever, whatever.
Yeah,
Any of it, all of that. He's an outstanding baseball player. He has the potential to go down as the greatest baseball player of all time by the end of his career. I mean, there's some people saying that that's a given.
yeah.
If it is
Dude,
not, if
also at 2 positions, like, that
yeah,
would be
dude,
crazy.
at
Yeah,
pitcher and at at pitcher and batting, like he's a phenom. Like you'll never see this again. Like in my opinion, you'll he's going to be the greatest as long as he doesn't get injured again with his throwing arm. He's going to be the greatest baseball player to ever live.
yeah,
He truly will be because yes, you have Babe Ruth and all that, but in today's game, to be able to hit that well, to be able to steal bases that well and pitch successfully against this type of opposition on each team, you know it as you sports get harder as time goes on. But what he's doing right now in the hardest era of baseball just is insane. It's just insane. So
yeah.
congratulations to him. I have nothing else more to say for Casino's Corner. It's just solely on Shohei Ohtani. If it is not a Dodgers Yankees World Series, I've said it before. What is baseball even doing?
Yeah. Last question for Casino's Corner before we get out of here, Casino. Who you got in the WNBA playoffs?
I'm gonna go with Vegas is gonna three-peat, but I don't think that's gonna happen. I really do like a couple other teams. I like New York; they're playing very well. Um, but yeah, I want to say Vegas, but
And do you think Caitlin Clark makes it out of the first round?
no, no, I don't.
That has been another rousing edition of Casino's Corner. My
Yeah,
favorite part of the show.
we're just keeping it quick and simple, quick and simple.
That's always been Casino's Corner, if you know what I mean. Let's that is the end of the show, Casino. Do we have anything else to add before we get out of here?
My daughter wants a cracker. She's like a freaking Polly.
She's got one as a dad. So this has
Ah!
been the Only Sports Podcast. I'm Will. That's Casino over there. We will see you Sunday for the solo show, and then we'll be back here Tuesday to discuss all the
Actually, hold on.
titillating.
What time are you going to start on Sunday?
Oh, I usually do it between the last late afternoon game and the Sunday night game.
Oh,
Between.
so that will not happen then because we're doing a double day date. So we got the football game and then we're going out in the evening as well. We have something else starting at 6. But if it was late, then I would have
Well, I
done.
can do it after the Sunday football game.
We it ends at we'll play that by ear. I might
Yeah,
make
we'll
an
talk.
appearance.
Ooh, Casino might be on the Sunday show. But I've been Will. That's been Casino over there. We will, yeah, definitely see you back here Tuesday, maybe Sunday. Adios.